Okay, it says it's live. I'm going to give it a couple moments to catch up as we always do. And there it is. Look at that. It's live. Guys, be sure to let me know if you can see and hear me if you don't mind. I'd appreciate that. And by the way, while you're doing that, howdy. Happy Tuesday evening. How is everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody is well. All right, so are we good? Everybody good here? Very clear. Big Al, thanks, man. Appreciate it. There was some conversation about bulk ammo buying in the pre-chat, which is very interesting. As you guys know, I buy bulk as well. Centerfire Shooting Sports down the street for me is nice enough to keep some bulk ammo on hand. So that always works out for me. But I'm always interested to hear where you guys go and you buy your ammo, what deals you get, that sort of thing. And I love that you guys share that with each other. I think that's the coolest thing. That's how we all do it, right? To share information, share knowledge, so everybody can take part. I think that is so freaking cool. Very good stuff there for sure. Banshee asking, anyone here a Target Sports member? I'm not. I'm not familiar with Target Sports. So you're gonna have to fill us in on what that is. NC, good to see you. Steven, Ree, B Series, Range Randy, Ferrets with Guns, Rolling Thunder, J Fall, Kathleen, Music Lover, Jordan. I'm rattling off what I see on the screen here, Knuckles, but howdy again to everyone. I would do roll call, but this just everybody knows each other, and we have a lot of fun here for sure. Knuckles is saying SG Ammo. Banshee saying TargetSportsUSA.com. Now, is that ammo? Is that other supplies? I'd be curious to know about that. I would be curious for sure. Okay, now Joker, you cannot talk about the Avengers Endgame. I have not seen it yet. I don't go to theaters. I haven't been to a theater since the first Matrix, if you can believe that. There's a little trivia, a little KS trivia for you. I had a really bad experience in that particular movie. A bunch of people brought in barbecue and in loud paper bags and everything. It just ruined the experience for everybody. So I decided from that moment on, and again, this was the first Matrix, so it's been a long time, that I would always have some sort of home theater. I don't care if it was a TV and a couple of small speakers or a full blown thing, it didn't matter. I wanted my own movie experience. So I never see movies until they come out on Blu-ray or to stream or whatever it happens to be. So no, nothing about the Avengers Endgame, please. I love those movies. So I've been able to avoid all of the spoilers up until this point. Jordan, the Matrix was a long time ago. Again, it's not a thing for me anymore. It really isn't. But so be it. Filet mignon, no spoilers, please. All right, Rolling Thunder. I bought a Beretta PX4 Storm pellet pistol. Very interesting, with full blowback action, shoots 380 feet per second. Had a few misfires due to faulty pellets. That is really cool. The PX4 Storm is a fantastic firearm. I have no experience with the pellet version of it, but you have me curious. And I'm a big fan of airsoft and pellet guns that mimic the real thing, so you can get some different experience, different dry fire practice, so to speak. I think those are really cool. I actually thought about looking into something like that as well, and I've actually also thought about getting a 22 pistol. I haven't had a 22 pistol in years, and I've thought about looking at maybe the Taurus. That's kind of the new in thing right now. Nobody's got it around here, but I'm going to keep my eye out for it. I've never done a 22 on the channel, and I think that'd be fun, and I think there is a lot of space for 22. I mean, they are ridiculously fun to shoot. They can be great trainers. They can be inexpensive to shoot, and especially for someone like me with bad wrists, it'd be nice to take a break every once in a while and still enjoy shooting without it just beating me up all the time. So I'm curious to know what you guys think. If you have other recommendations besides maybe the Taurus, maybe something else instead, that would be very interesting. Red October, Luke Skywalker dies. I know, don't tell me that. Why is he in that movie? It was very interesting indeed. Banshee is saying all bulk is free shipping regardless. That is always good for sure. Let's see. Joker, don't worry, my lips are sealed. Much appreciated, my friend. I'm such a nerd. I went back through and I watched all the movies over the past maybe month or so, kind of leading up to this. I still haven't seen Captain Marvel either, so I'm looking forward to both of those. But anyway, enough about movies. Let's see. Rolling Thunder bought it for 230 Canadian. Loving it so far. Okay, good to know. Good to know indeed. Yeah, I'm curious to know about some of the other 22s out there. I would like to do something newer. That's why the Taurus has been a little bit on the map. That's kind of the talked about gun, although the initial reviews are out, but they're glowing, which is fantastic. So be curious. Banshee is saying like the Ruger SR22, a lot of fun. I did have one of those years ago. The only two 22 pistols I've had were the SR22 and then the original Smith & Wesson M&P, not the compact, but the original one. And that thing was fantastic as well. Really enjoyed shooting that gun. And I'm kind of mad that I don't have it anymore. Snowman saying you should do a Smith & Wesson Victory. I hear fantastic things about that as well. I'm not opposed to that. I'm really not. Something if I can throw a red dot on it and that sort of thing, and just it's plinktastic is what I think that is. So Two-Wheel Man NC, Walther PPQ 22 is fantastic. I think so too, man. I really do. Buffer Zone saying M&P 22 compact. Okay, good stuff. Dennis Jones, good to see you. Ruger MK4, all right. Very nice. A lot of 22 fans in here. There is no shame in a 22. There really isn't. I think they're a lot of fun. And I have a lot of 22 ammo that I've just had lying around for years. I've got quite a few 22 rifles, some Ruger 1022s, that sort of thing. But I've not shot one in a long time. So at some point I need to do that. I really do. Army Me 32, 22 long rifle bores me. 9mm is the lowest I shoot. Well, it's funny. I don't know if you guys remember the TV show. What was it? Top Shot. I think it was Top Shot. One of the winners there, the winner of season, I want to say it was season 2. His name is escaping me right now. Something that he said when they were going to do the 22 long rifle challenge. He said, 22 is a fantastic test of marksmanship because it's no different than really any other firearm out there, and it shoots a projectile and that sort of thing, and you can still go out at reasonable distances and shoot fun targets and that sort of thing. And I believe that to be true. I believe it to be a good test of marksmanship, and also just a great inexpensive way to do it, and also a great way to get other people that maybe are hesitant to shoot or pretty young or whatever it is, because it's not as loud. There's not as much recoil. There's less sensory overload. One friend of mine that I took to shoot 9mm, the first time she ever shot. In fact, I don't think she shot again. We took my Glock 19. I thought that was kind of a good sort of Honda Civic of handguns, and it fit her hand reasonably well. She shot it. She was a trooper the entire time, but at the end of the day, she was like, no, I'm not feeling it. And I think I did that wrong. I think I should have done a 22, and I think that would have been a better experience. But obviously who knows, but if I could do it again, 22 might be the way to go. So who knows? Banshee. So which Dan Wesson is on the way? Well, I need to do the Vigil CCO first because that was the first one. And the Guardian really is more a collection gun. I will review it, but I'm not in a hurry for that at all. And it's been out on the market for a fairly long time. So I need to get caught up on several guns in the collection, but there are a couple that really need to come out before that. So I just need to kind of pick the right one for the right time, I guess. So Young Guns, good to see you, man. Have you or anyone tried the Stoeger STR9 pistol? I have not. I'm not familiar with it, to be honest with you. I'll have to take a look. You always have some great recommendations. You really do. Joker, I got the Ruger Mark IV Hunter. You're a custom guy, and no other 22 pistol has as much of an aftermarket. Okay, good to know. Good to know. And Kathleen saying no Taurus for me. Don't write them off just yet. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't. Terrence Freed just bought a Heritage Rough Rider with adjustable fiber optic sights. Nice. Very, very cool. Snowman just picked up a P226 Enhanced Elite used, but it's like new for under $600. That is a smoking deal. That is an absolutely smoking deal. Fantastic. Way to go. Which Grey Guns trigger is better, the curved or the flat? I would go flat. I think their flat triggers are fantastic. But if you're a fan of curved triggers, you could certainly do that. I imagine that the effect is the same. It's just the feel of the trigger. I don't know. I don't have experience with both of them, but I personally would go with the flat. That would be my thing. Jordan, M&P 2.05 inch coming my way soon. I'm excited. My second Smitty, and I plan on getting all sizes. Nice. Well, you guys know I've been spending time with this 3.6, and although it didn't fare as well in its last video, I really have been very impressed with this. I think if I put an Apex trigger shoe, if nothing else, in there, it'd be great, but I really kind of want to leave it stock for the time being. I've got some other video plans for that. So, and people always give me trouble for the triggers. So I want to kind of stay away from it for the time being. So Mean Gene, Plinktastic. That's the word of the evening, Plinktastic, right? Range Randy, Smith & Wesson Victory 22. Bob EO, how about the Walther CCP M2? I don't have any experience. I know my buddy 1776 is not a big fan, and that was not a glowing report by him, and I trust his judgment a lot. So I have not, that's not been on my radar, to be honest with you. It really it has not. Cody Fowler, do you think the new 4-inch shield shot better than the regular shield? For me, no. It didn't. And you know, I have found that the 48 in the shield 4-inch to me feel almost a little bit unbalanced. I feel like the weight disbursement's a little bit different there. It's obviously a little bit more front heavy. Now that makes it more accurate, the longer sight radius, longer barrel, all that. And I think that is true. But I feel like, and based on experience, I can control the regular shield, the regular 43X, not the 43. I can't shoot the 43 very well at all, but the 43X reasonable enough. And I feel like that makes a big difference. Although I'm still a fan of them, I have not decided between the 48 and the Shield 4-inch. I might do it if I could only have one at some point in time. That one is pretty low on the list. I'm not sure how much interest there is. There hasn't been that much interest in either of those two guns. So it might be not worth the time to do. I don't know yet. I haven't decided, but I do like the regular Shield better. Paul Aboud, I hope I'm saying that right. APX Beretta or HK VP9. I am a huge fan of the VP9. I think they're fantastic guns, especially the SK. Now the Beretta APX, those are good guns as well. I have not experienced the Centurion yet, and I'd like to at some point. That felt just phenomenal in the hand. I've handled one time. And I think that's sort of the sweet spot for that gun. But I kind of gravitate towards the VP9. I really do. I think their ergos are really, really solid. Excuse me. C. Martin, not a 22, but after a long wait, finally got my PL1 Omega. Congratulations. You'll love it. Don't ever get rid of it. Don't ever get rid of it. Haven't gotten to the range yet. Keep me posted if you don't mind. I'd like to know how that runs for you. I'm a huge, huge fan. All right, I'm going to jump down in the comments. If I have missed something, guys, be sure to let me know. I'm going to try and hit some of these call-outs. Dexter saying, I know you're not a revolver guy, but the Wrangler did come out recently. I need to change that, Dex. I really do. I need to look into a revolver or two, but I need to find the right ones. My grip is so geared towards semi-automatic and even 1911 to an extent that there would be a fair amount of work that would need to be done for that. So I'll do it. I really will at some point in time. REB, at Target Sports, you can get free shipping for bulk, but if you pay $95 for a membership, you get the free shipping for any amount of ammo mix and match. 22 CCI mini mags, 276 for 5,000 rounds. All right, fair enough. Well, that's good to know, man. Target Sports, okay. And now everybody knows. Scott, good to see you, man. Saw a Stoeger 22 long rifle Luger at the local store. You guys have me curious about Stoeger. I wish I knew a little bit of everything about every manufacturer, but I don't. I know zero about Stoeger, so you've got me very curious. I'll have to do a little bit of research on that. Banshee, I'm looking forward to your CCO review. I'm looking forward to shooting it. I have not put a single round through either of the Dan Wessons yet. That's how far behind I still am. And things keep popping up, man. This Delta, it arrived a little earlier than I thought it was going to. And so that kind of pushed everything aside because I think people are really interested in hearing about the Delta, although you may not like the video very much. Sorry. It is what it is. Let's see. 2014 MRK, you should do a P365 versus the 43X. Well, the P365, I retired. I did what I wanted to do with it. More videos than I really had originally planned. The 43X may be in another video. I do still have it, although it's going to be very different. It actually was sent away to have a little bit of customization done to it. So people might throw a little bit of a fit if I put that against another gun now. But I'm excited to see what you guys think of it, if nothing else. So. Kathleen, did you get rid of your PPQ? A long time ago. Yes, the PPQ did make its way to bigger and better things. It did indeed. Matthew Hoover, yo, back to you, my friend. Good to see you. Ferrets with Guns, Ruger Wrangler 22 LR looks nice. We'll give Heritage a run for the money. So you've got me curious about that as well. Ian Moniz, man, good to see you. Hated my VP9. Terrible trigger. Took me forever to sell it. Overpriced hype guns. Won't buy another HK. Well, that's fair. Everybody has different experiences with it. I agree about the price. I think they're a little bit too expensive. I think SIGs are too expensive as well. I know a lot of people think Glocks are too expensive, although it makes Glocks look a lot less expensive when you put it up against those guys sometimes. But I had a good experience with the VP9. But that's the beauty of the times we're living in. I mean, you can make the choices you want and find the one that's right for you and the right experience, which is fantastic. So Rolling Thunder, any new guns you have your eyes on from SHOT Show or NRAM? No. I mean, with SHOT Show, there was the Delta, which I've got now, and spent a couple of weeks with it. That video is going to drop Saturday. But no, nothing else really. I mean, the plate's kind of full right now. And after, I think I've got videos slated for about the next 3 months. And after that, then I'm going to have to start wandering around and see what else is out there. So we shall see. Karam 19, Beretta released a video on the Gram showing the APX carry malfunctioning in the first 15 seconds. Langdon was shooting it. Pretty funny. Very interesting. That has not appeared yet. I would like to test that one. I'm very curious about it, although I have my reservations since it's basically a retooled Nano. So we'll see. But I'm still curious to get my hands on one when possible. Let's see, Dennis Jones for the group. Anybody play with the Kimber Optic Ready full-size 1911s? And if so, opinions. I have not, Dennis, just so you know. I have only come across one Kimber in my life. I did have one. It was a something Carry 2. I forget. Something Carry 2. And it was an okay gun. It was not necessarily my favorite personally. Kevin Jung, hey, gun guys and gals, you rock, love you all. Thanks for the Pro 2A talk. Thanks for stopping in, man. Spec Op, good to see you, man. It's been too long. We need to talk, dude. We need to talk. It's been way too long. Channel looking good, proud of the growth, well deserved. Well, it's because of you. We've talked about this. Everybody, just so you know, this channel, all this exists because of him. Spec Op, and now it's no pandering. It's the real deal. That is the truth. This exists because a very nice gentleman put a nice comment on, I think it was my first video I ever did, and that was the inspiration to keep going. Otherwise, I probably would have stopped. So it's all because of you, dude. I really appreciate you. Little sentiment there. But seriously, that is just awesome. Never forget where you come from, ever. Never forget that. Rolling Thunder, for revolvers, I suggest trying the Taurus Raging Bull 44 Magnum or 454 Casal. So if I'm going to do a revolver, just dive right in, right? Go for the gusto, not work your way up. I was kind of thinking like a BB gun or something just to start with, and then work my way up. But apparently that's not the case. So I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. Russ Elder, good to see you, man. Another long time friend of the channel, man. Russ, you've been with me since almost the beginning as well. This is it's an interesting night with some fantastic, friendly, longtime faces. So really appreciate you, man. Daniel, Kimber is just overpriced name. There are a lot of people that think that. Again, I have so little experience with them. It's tough to judge. I think they have some very good looking guns. I like some of those Raptors, but again, very little experience. So I can't really comment too much. Kathleen KS, what do you think of the SP01 TAC? I love SP01s. You know I do. I think SP01s are fantastic. Range Randy Kiss, are you to do a review on the SIG P210 standard? Yes, it's on the list. They're looking for it. So as soon as one becomes available, I will jump on it. I've wanted to try a 210 for probably a year now, but they're kind of expensive. And although I like the ergos okay on that kind of funky grip, that funky walnut grip, I like the toned down version that they just came out with that they're making here. So I'd like to try that one and see. And again, it's a little bit more palatable to the budget, and that's pretty important. So we shall see. Texas teacher didn't get a notification for this. We shall all write letters to YouTube and let them know. Yeah, sorry, man. I did put it up early this afternoon, pretty early this afternoon. So it might have just flown by, which is always possible. William Keller, hey KS, are you carrying the Smith & Wesson 9C3.6? I am not carrying it right now. Right now, it's still kind of in the testing phase, and I don't mean like reliability. I mean, it's got enough rounds. I feel totally comfortable with it. I haven't had any bad experiences with Smiths, but just in terms of I'm still doing videos and that sort of thing, and so I'm not carrying that. Plus, I've got the 4-inch and the Shield, and this is the time of year where I carry the Shield because I'm in shorts and t-shirt, that sort of thing. It's so much easier. And you guys know I like minimalist. I truly do. I am trying a Talon grip on the Shield. The back strap is already starting to come off a little bit. So that may be all for naught. But I thought I would try one and see, because that grip every once in a while does get pretty annoying. So I'll make a video about that at some point in time. And hopefully it's a good experience. I've had past good experiences with grip tape, but this one has been not quite as much. Gizzard Gary, good to see you, man. Joker, if reincarnation was a thing, I'd want to come back as Spec Ops voice. Very cool. Oh, man. Is Stephen Worth, memory lane? Absolutely. It's important. I think that stuff is really important. Just subscribe to Spec Op. Awesome. You won't be sorry. You truly won't. Corey, good to see you, man. Watched a lot of SRO videos today. Basically, what I gathered is it's a competition optic not meant for combat. RMR's King. Oh, gosh. So that disappeared for a second. RMR's King of crush tests. SRO's second best to the RMR. I love my RMR. I still have done very little research on the SRO. I've got a buddy, I think, who's going to be getting one here, so it'll be interesting to see that. But I'd be curious about it. I'm kind of with you. I'm more into practical, and especially because I don't really have very many red dots. I've got the Holosun and I've got the Vortex Venom, and I've enjoyed those. The Holosun is awesome. I like it because it is an RMR footprint, and that is really, really cool. So I'll get a video out at some point with some of these Holosuns. But if I was to test another one, I would probably do the RMR. The only thing is that field of view is so small, and I'm getting old enough, and with glasses, I can kind of appreciate a little bit wider field of view in the red dots. Some people give me trouble for that and say field of view doesn't really exist in an RMR. I don't think that's true. I think the amount of glass that you can see through can really impact how you're shooting your sight acquisition, that sort of thing. So, but I still want to try an RMR. I really do. That's on the list at some point in time. Brian Ripple, good to see you, man. Need to watch your X compact video. Thoughts on the X carry? I like them both, and I like them both a lot. It's really tough to pick the one I like better because I think they both feel good in the hand, but very drastically different. I would watch that small comparison I did between the two. Hopefully there's enough data in there just to highlight the differences between them, because it really is there's much more difference, especially in the grip, than what it appears to on video. But I like them both, man. I think they're both good. If I was to carry one, it would probably be the compact, just because, again, it's a tiny bit smaller all the way around. But again, either one is fantastic. So I've been a big fan. Dexter, so do you think the SIG P320X compact is really the new best of the compacts available right now? It's a good question. I'd say it's in the running, but it's one opinion. What do I know? There haven't been enough compacts out to say that it isn't one of the front runners, I guess. There really hasn't. I mean, again, we've got the Delta out, we've got the X compact, and I think there are probably a few others. That X compact is pretty good. I think one thing that keeps it out of the running for a lot of people is it's expensive. When you can get other guns like this one's MSRP $475. You can pick it up $425 to $450 all day long. And that SIG, I mean, I think I got it for 670, something like that, and that was a pretty good deal. And so that's expensive. Now it's cut for an RMR. It's got great sights on, blah blah, all that stuff. But the price may keep it out of the running for some people. Spec Cop 84 watching, 17 thumbs up. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. And they're always the 2 or 3 thumbs down during the day, which is pretty cool. I'm always excited about that. I mean, it means we're making a dent, you know. Pistol Pete on the list. It's a long list. I'll tell you, man. It is a long list, so no doubt about it. In fact, I really want to try the Ruger PCC, the new tactical one. It sort of looks ridiculous, but I kind of want to try it. And so that's on the list too, but it's pretty far down. I still think it'd be fun. I've been having so much fun with all the different PCCs. In fact, an old friend is back to do some more work with. The MPX is actually back. So I'm very excited about that. I'm going to be putting it back to use and having a little fun with the Scorpion Micro. I do have an If I Could Only Have One coming up between that and the AR9 as well here pretty soon. But I want to re-record a couple pieces. I had to get it out pretty quick because I had to ship that off back to the owner. That since has changed, but I've got a little bit more work to do with that. And then I want to get the video out for the Micro as well. So we shall see. I saw a moment ago, I need to catch up. Jim Gregory, very good to see you, man. Really appreciate that. Happy Tuesday. Hope your week is off to a good start. Well, we're here now. It is absolutely off to a good start. And we've gotten some rain and the grass is growing like crazy. So I like that. Everything is all nice and green. Gunny Jones, are you going to test a new 4-inch Smith & Wesson shield? Actually, I've got a video out there, brother. I've done my part with that one, and I'm just trying to decide if we're going to do another video before it maybe makes its way on down the road. That I don't think is going to be a keeper for me. Not to say it's not a great gun, but it doesn't fit a role for me at this point in time, and I'm trying not to hold on to things that don't have some sentimental or functional role in the collection. So it's kind of how we have to move on, you know. Spec Op getting some friends and family there, buddy. That's awesome. Philip Snyder, well, I love you too. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Harry's Holsters, good to see you, Harry. Hope you're well. By the way, having a little fun here with this. The Wilson Combat, thanks to Harry. That video also will be coming up before too long. That was a surprise visit as well. So sometimes these things just pop up. So a lot of work to do for sure. Young Guns sent me some info on the Stoeger. Thank you very much. You're always keeping me up to date on things. I really appreciate that. Corey, I have the Venom as well for 2 years. Prefer the RMR. 1 MOA RMR for precision for rifle or pistol mounting. Okay, good to know, man. Good to know. I appreciate that. Yeah, we'll do an RMR. There's no doubt about it. It just have to. It has to be the right time, and right now the funds are spoken for things like the SIG P210. So I'll have to figure out the right time to do it. Robert Wilson, are you going to do a video on the Diamondback DB9 Gen 4? So here's the thing. I had one. Diamondback was very nice to send me the DB9 Gen 4 as well as the AM2. I've sent them both back. And I don't know that there's going to be a revisit on that, so we'll just share a little bit. The AM2 had a lot of functionality problems. I had a lot of failures to feed, and that got very irritating very quickly. I think I ran maybe 120 to 130 rounds through it. The first magazine was fine. The second magazine was fine. And then after that, every single round was a failure to feed. And keep in mind, when I get firearms, whether it's my own or a tester or a loaner or whatever it is, I always take them apart and clean the heck out of them. I make sure they're well lubed. Everything is in good shape. I mean, I do everything I can to prevent any sort of issue as best I can. I mean, obviously some things are out of my control, but I take great care to make sure that everything is good to go. And it went downhill very quickly, and to a point where, I mean, every round I was having to beat it up in the back pretty good. And after a while, I was done with it. And then the DB9 functioned flawlessly, but after about 25 rounds, 28 rounds, whatever it was, I was done with that too. That gun is so incredibly small, and my hands are just big enough to where I could not, for the life of me, find anywhere comfortable to shoot that gun. And you know, if I'd been shooting the broadside of a barn, it probably would have made for a decent video. But just a target, I mean, it really looked like Swiss cheese. I mean, it looked like me shooting the Car S9, which I can't shoot at all. I really can't. So the DB9 will not be on a video on the channel, and the AM2 probably will not either. Again, they're both back at Diamondback. They're taking a look at the AM2, but I surprised them a little bit by sending both rather than one back, and it just. If I don't have anything to say, I can't do a review. If it's negative, I don't mind doing a review as long as it's honest and it's got some substance behind it. But neither of those two made sense to do. And I'm not setting myself out to make Diamondback look bad. That's not cool. It's not how I run things. But that particular gun had problems. So there you go. There's the background story. I've held on to that for quite a while, but I think that's probably where it's going to end at this point with the Diamondback stuff. So anyway, there you go. You guys get the sneak preview on that. Spec comp wasn't my intention. Dude, it's all good, man. It is all good. Your family. It's all good. Dexter, KSCon guy, at the same time, you have to figure the features it adds as an out of the box. Okay, talking about the RMR, I think, right, Dex? Really, some said, do the math for night sights and trigger. You quickly approach the cost of a SIG. No, you're not talking about the RMR. I totally agree with you. Once you add up the extra stuff, I mean, a couple of people did give me some trouble for not picking the M&P, and I love this gun. There's nothing against the gun at all. But that is the one thing with a gun like this, at least in my hands, I want to do the trigger, and that's $180 right there. And then the sights, even though these sights are decent, they aren't bad. I would rather have better sights, HD sights, night sights, whatever. And that's another, 100 anyways, right? So we're talking $250 to $300 on top of, and this came in, I think, after shipping, and I actually did buy it online. That's also a first for me. I think it was around like $430, $440. So add, $280 on top of that. And that SIG's not looking so bad now. But the SIG comes as is. You don't get to pick your own stuff. So there's a give and take with all of that stuff. There really is. Pistol Pete, put a can on the Scorpion. I will. I need to figure out how to do that. I haven't taken the micro apart yet. So I need to figure out, but I think the Omega 45 will look pretty cool when it's on there. As long as it fits, it's got to fit in that handguard, which I assume it does, but I haven't done that just yet. Spec Op picked up a Wolk Pack Armory AR9. Is it Wolk Pack? Is that right? And have been very pleased. Wasn't familiar with the company before. Love my PCCs. Yeah, man, they're addictive. I've had several people make comments. Why would you get an AR9 or whatever? And this is on the Palmetto State Armory AR9 video that I did. Why would you do that? Just get a 5.56. Pistol caliber carbines don't make any sense. If it's a rifle, it should be a rifle. And I guess I get that in principle, except I think PCCs or PDWs or whatever, UPS, BLT, whatever it is that you want to say, I think they serve a different purpose. And then also, there's a fun aspect as well. And guns like this MPX or the AR9, and of course, a huge price difference between the two, I think there is a great range fun experience with that. I mean, that Palmetto, it's $569 shipped, is a fantastic deal. It'll run all day. It takes Glock magazines, and it's just a fun shooter. It's bare bones. It's basic. It doesn't have a last round hold open, but I just think it's fantastic. So I think there definitely is a purpose and a role for a PCC. There's also a role for a pistol caliber AR of 5.56 or 300 blackout, whatever it is. But I'm a big fan. I really am, as you guys can probably tell. I really would like the Ruger PC carbine, but want it to be in 10 millimeter. 10 millimeter would be very cool. So I'll be able to hold out waiting for that. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That absolutely makes sense. Scott K, my PO1 is only 2 weeks away. Congratulations. You will love it. You will love it. It's a fantastic gun. Did you get the Omega or the regular? Be curious about that. Alaskan Ballistics, what is up, my brother? Gunny, you've been out of the country. Okay, welcome back, by the way. Welcome back. Jordan, do you have any outdoor ranges you can go to? Yes, I do have a couple. They're not terrifically close to me, and I don't really have the relationships with them like I do Centerfire and Frontier Justice. And I'm kind of a fan of the indoor range for the videos, and I know not everybody is, but here's the thing. There are a lot of videos with outdoor ranges out there, which is all fine and good, but I like to eliminate some of the extra environmental noise, so to speak. And I think the range does a good job. Now, every once in a while, I've got people beside me shooting cannons, and I can't necessarily help that. Although centerfire is pretty good to try and keep me away from that as best as possible. But I like the indoor range because it just concentrates on the shooting itself and how the gun performs without the environmental stuff, nuances, if you will. So yeah, I've got a couple of outdoor ranges relatively close, and we may expand things as time goes on, but right now I don't really have plans to. And also centerfire's really close to me, and that's nice. It makes it very convenient. And there's less time traveling and all that kind of stuff. So well, we shall see. We shall see. Athletic Performance Shooting 5-inch Wilson EDC-9 looks cool. I'll tell you what, man, this is a beautiful gun, and I've already told Harry I'm not as much of a fan of the steel slide. I prefer the black slide, something like that. But it's a beautiful gun, and the grips on it you really can't see very well, but the grips are just awesome. It's kind of a wide kid, but it does feel good in the hand. So I'll be really excited to put some rounds downrange with that and make some videos with it. I've got a couple planned for that one, so we shall see. All right, I'm going to catch up here for just a moment. I know you guys have been talking a lot. Thank you, by the way, for that. Keenan, good to see you. Yeah, Spec Op, why not PCC? Never got that. Fun to shoot and cheap. Not saying they're the best option. Don't have to be. Can just be a good time. Oh, absolutely. 100% agree. I 100% agree. I shoot first for fun. Yes, there's also the practical application, the home defense, the concealed carry, all that sort of thing. But I've been shooting since I was a kid, and it was fun, and I don't want to lose that aspect. And so guns like the MPX and the EDC-9, that sort of thing, they have to be fun. They have to be fun. A review coming up pretty soon. It might be a little bit more negative. I'm not having as much fun with it, and you guys will be able to tell, I think. Joker, KSU need an LWRC SMG in 45 caliber. I'm all over it, man. Point the way. Let's do it. Harry, Pistol Pete, completely different formats of guns. The Wilson isn't a 1911. Yeah, there are some similarities. I would say there are some similarities. I get tones of 1911 with this, but it is not a 1911. I mean, one of the biggest things that makes a 1911 a 1911 is the grip safety, and this does not have one. So I really can't classify that because that means the firing mechanisms are a little bit different in this. But it reminds me of a 1911 to a degree as well. So it's an interesting firearm, no doubt about that. Brian Walter, KS, was the 509T a keeper for you, or has it moved on? It has moved on. I liked it a lot, but practically it just didn't make sense to keep. I really wanted to. That one I had plans to make it a permanent gun, but I started to discover that there was only so much I could do video wise with it. And you guys know I don't like to just beat guns up in videos over and over and over again, unless it's a comparison. You're going to see a Smith & Wesson 9C or a Glock 19 in a lot of videos because people want to see a size comparison, but then they go right back off. I don't make 8 or 10 videos on one gun. It's not the type of format that this channel has. And so the 509T just didn't make sense. And it was going to be a suppressor host, but I've got the Glock 19X, and it's got a silencer code barrel in it. It's well broken in. And that gun, because you can take them all apart, you can clean them. It never gets that dirty. So it's my can gun. So that sort of filled that niche that I really wanted. So the 509T did move on. I'd like to test the M at some point, but again, super low on the list. I've tested the other two, so it's kind of like the M&P 3.6. I waited a long time to jump into this because I had the 4-inch, and there's so little difference between the two. It's almost hardly worth mentioning one or the other as better than one or the other. I mean, they're basically the same gun. So Range Randy, PCC 9mm, a lot of fun to shoot at the range, and 9mm ammo is a lot cheaper. Yeah, absolutely true. Even though I got in a little bit of a debate with a guy in the comments the other day about 9mm not being cheaper than 5.56. I was saying that it was, but he was saying it was $20 a box for 9mm. And I asked him a question. I asked him, are you talking defensive ammo? Like 20 rounds, $1 a round, and he never came back and answered. Unfortunately, it was an interesting debate up until that point. But I was just trying to get to what he was referring to, because I was really curious. I mean, he was saying he was getting I don't remember what it was, a box of, I think, 5.56 for $9, and then 29mm for $20. And I'm like, wait, time out. Are we talking range ammo? Are we talking defense ammo? What's happening here? But a very interesting conversation nonetheless. Scott K got the regular P. Okay, so you got the one with the DeCocker, not the Omega. Pretty stoked. Very nice. Very nice. One cool thing about that is, and I don't know if you're interested in doing this or not, but there are a lot of things you can do to dial it in even a little bit more. A lot of Cajun Gunworks parts and that sort of thing, much more so than the Omega. The regular trigger system is a lot more adaptable. There are a lot more parts for it. So if it's something you're interested in, yeah, maybe. And some people like to keep them totally stock. My PO1 is totally stock, so I totally get it if you don't want to do anything like that. Kathleen, KS, have you checked out the SRO optics? I have not. Harry, PCCs are especially options for guys like you shooting an indoor range. That's absolutely true. I think they come in handy, and I think they make, and some people would argue with this, I'm sure, I think they make great home defense firearms as well, especially if you throw a can on it. I think that's a good option because you can throw a light and all that kind of stuff, and you can get it pretty small. I mean, this MPX is tiny. I mean, it really is. Even with a can on it, it's very small. So I think there's practical application there, but they are great indoor range guns, no doubt about that. REB, there's another on my list, the XTAR 9mm, but I guess you can only get those direct from XTAR. Well, yeah, it's on my list. People tell me over and over again I have to try one. So I will. I might borrow Honest Outlaws. I think he still has his. So we'll see what happens in the future. I've had so much fun with all these PCCs or PDWs, whatever you want to say, that we'll keep doing them. They are just fun. They really are. And as I'm trying to heal my wrists a little bit, shooting these at the range don't beat me up as much. And I'm looking for any excuse not to beat myself up so much right now. So. Al Osborne, good to see you, man. PCC 9mm are a blast. Wife and kids love it. Got to build another. See, I mean, again, another fantastic reason why I think they're great. More shooters can enjoy them because the recoil is very soft. I mean, I want to take my parents to shoot them, and they're in their 70s, but I think they could easily manage like the AR9, something like that. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Alaskan Ballistics couldn't stand the grip on the FN509T. I totally understand. Although I do like it better than the FNX45. The FNX45 was a 4x4 as far as I'm concerned. Filet Mignon was looking at deep conceal holsters and ended up on your site again and was curious. Thanks. Might need to try that out. Nice. I'm assuming you're talking to Harry. Hopefully, I definitely recommend it if you haven't yet. Dennis Jones shot a Wilson Combat EDC X9. Love the gun, but came from Wilson Combat with the sights off by about 3 inches at 10 yards. Wow. Don't know if the rear sight shifted during shipment or if it was meant that way. I don't think it was meant that way. I hope. I'm sure it probably just needed to be adjusted. Dave Gass, why do people call silencers cans? Well, they look like cans. I mean, I don't know. That's a really good question. I'm sure there is an actual origin to that term. I don't know what it is. I have usually called them suppressors or cans, never silencers. I know that's not the PC version. That's the movie version, of course, because they don't silence anything. They suppress and they look like cans. Correct me, guys, if I'm wrong about that. Stephen Worth, 9mm cheaper. Yeah, absolutely. Pistol Pete, he buys his 9mm ammo at Sharper Image. Yes. Very nice. Pistol Pete, silencers, suppressors, cans, mufflers, right? Yeah, nice. Brandon Bartlett, have you heard any details on the SIG Romeo 2 or Romeo 1 Pro? I have not. So if anybody knows anything, be sure to holler if you don't mind. But no, I have not heard anything yet. I wouldn't mind trying one of those just to see what they're like. I imagine they'll be a little less expensive than the RMR, although I could be wrong about that. Joker saying PCCs are great backpack guns too. Absolutely, man. The micro and the MPX they're both tiny, and they would be very good bag guns. Steve B, I reload 9mm for 12 cents a round. 45 is 18 cents. 30-06 for 55 cents. Very nice. Very nice. Filet mignon, you and Big Johnson have had me on Harry's site like 10 times this week. Well, there's a reason why, man. He makes great holsters. He really does. I had the 48 on all weekend. I was at an STI event at Centerfire Shooting Sports. I was with Fit and Fire. A lot of you guys know him, and the head of the Kansas gun community, my buddy Lyle, and we just had a great time. We were hanging out with Corinne Mosher. She's a professional shooter for STI, and one of the guys there, Bill from STI. And it was just fun. We got to shoot all the guns and everything. Got to shoot Corinne's Combat Master, rather, and some other guns as well. DVC Carry, which I like a lot. It's too expensive, but I like it a lot. And yeah, I had the 48 on and the Harry's holster the whole time. Super comfortable. Never even knew it was there, man. Very, very comfortable. And that 48, I'm starting to kind of like a little bit more. Joker 3421. I think Holosun makes SIG optics, so they're probably good. Yeah, I think you're right. I think they do. I've heard that time and time again. Catching up again, so you guys know. Filet mignon, I know time to pull the trigger. Have built about 37 combos of options by now, I'm sure. Nice. Talking about holsters, I believe. Harry's holsters, you should have carried an STI. No way, dude. I would be exhausted about halfway through the day. I'm not a fit. It's too much gun. And you guys know I don't have the C anymore. I only have the Staccato P. That's too much gun for me to carry comfortably all day. If it was outside and I had the right belt, the right rig on, sure, whatever. But that, I mean, it's not practical, of course. So no. Although one guy did have a Staccato P on, so I do feel a little bit silly, but I'll get over it somehow. Alaskan Ballistics put a Holosun on my 4570. Nice. Which Holosun? Be curious about that. Guys, what other questions do you have? I've actually caught up, which is a first in a long time. But yeah, what other questions do you guys have? NC Civil War. Wish Harry would do a live build at his shop on YouTube. Harry, video idea. There you go. That would actually be very cool. Maybe a little time lapse sort of deal. Mean Gene, can, short for canister. Thank you. Nicely done. Nicely. We've all learned something, just so you guys know. In all seriousness, 88, man, good to see you. It just got a Vector. Congratulations. That's your new bag gun. Nice. That's another great example. Exactly. They are small. How do you like the recoil and the ergonomics on that? I'm curious. I have shot one. A buddy of mine, he has I don't know if he still has it or not. He had a white one. It looked like a stormtrooper's gun. And when I shot it, against, he also had an MPX. He's got a nice collection. The MPX, very soft recoil, very accurate, easy to keep on target. I found that the Vector, although the recoil wasn't bad at all, I mean, it's a very different feel. You know, you've got everything kind of going downward rather than straight back at you. But I had a hard time finding the right place. I was trying to grip it in front of the magwell towards the very top, and I just couldn't find a very comfortable spot. So you've probably got a lot more rounds through yours. I would be curious to know what you think of the ergos and the overall experience of it. 1776. Good to see you, man. What is the meaning of life? You, my friend. Okay, Alaskan Ballistics. It's the same Holosun that SIG calls the Romeo 5. They've got a lot that look kind of like that. I mean, I think it's the 507 BU or 503 BU, 503 BU, I think is what it is. That's kind of the main one. I just picked up another one. It's like a 515 GW or something like that. And then I've got the little micro as well. But that 503 BU has been phenomenal. And that might be kind of close to what you're talking about, perhaps. Harry's holsters, it would have to be time lapse. It still might be a good idea. You never know. I'd watch. I think it'd be fascinating. Scott, 1776. The answer is 42. Yes. Athletic performance shooting. Have you shot any of the Wilson Berettas or Langdon 92 or Langdon PX4 compact carry? It's ugly, but a sweet gun. I haven't, man. The only 92 I've shot is a regular 92. It didn't even have the rail. I mean, it was very plain Jane 92. In fact, I've got a video on it super early in the channel. It's got like 75 views. It's not that great of a video, to be honest, but it's a fun gun. I mean, very accurate gun. And then the PX4 Storm. That's it. So I would like to try the Langdon Tactical 92. That would be the one. I think that's the one I would like to try. I think it's a good looking gun. I hear great things about it, even though the Wilson looks very cool as well. The Langdon just kind of, it sort of fits the bill. There's an M982 that I have access to from a Guide Center fire. So I'll review it at some point. I'd like to do it this year if I can. But I obviously a lot of stuff ahead of that right now. And then the PX4 Storm was the regular compact. So I'd like to do another one at some point, but it would probably have to be the Langdon, I think. Indestructible. Wrong, Chaos. The meaning of life is to crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear their women crying. It's very interesting. All right. Fair enough. It's like the Dothraki, if you're a fan of Game of Thrones. If you're not, you look it up. Kathleen saying the meaning of life becoming one with the tactical. I like that. J. Mike started carrying the P10S and love it. Waiting on an optics plate from CZ to put a Holosun on it. First time with a pistol optic, so I'm kind of excited to try it. Congratulations. That's awesome, man. That's cool. That's cool. I'm glad you're liking the P10S too. 17. Just call me Snake. Nice. Knuckles, anyone ever shoot a Walther P5? Crickets. I have not, man. I have not. Juan Garrett, if I could only have one. Sea Camp 32 versus Beretta Tomcat 32. Well, I don't have either. Have no experience with either. If I could get a hold of them, it would be interesting. I've never shot a 32, actually, or a 25, to be honest with you. So both of those would be an interesting experience. Oh, Alaskan. Okay, the HS403GL, I think, is the model number. Okay, good to know. Good to know. You guys are talking about Snake Plissken. Funny. I haven't heard that name in a long time. James Massey, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Alaskan saying you'll have to try the M9A3 version. Yeah, so it'll happen at some point in time. He's got the original, the FDE, various tones of FDE. So you'll see it at some point. I just don't know when. REB, what do you think of the Filster? I hope that's Filster Floodlight holster. I posted it on Instagram the other day. I'm gonna have to go back and look at that again, I don't recall that. So you'll have to give me a minute, but I'll shoot you a message later. Dave Gass, I'm looking forward to the Beretta 92X. Yeah, man. God, everybody talks about that gun, Dave. Are you going to get one? I would be curious to know your thoughts of it. Athletic performance shoe, then a 92X should be pretty sweet. Gosh, a lot of people have been talking about it. I mean, seriously, that it's impressive how many people have been talking about the 92X. I need to get with the times, apparently. All right, Knuckles is saying the Walther P5 was disconnected about 30 years ago. Outstanding gun, though. Okay, cool. Kathleen, who is hosting the chat tomorrow? I don't know. 17? Are you hosting? I don't know. I would agree that it is a sweet gun, though. No doubt about it. Well, all right, guys. What other questions do you guys have? We've got a few more minutes before we wrap this whole thing up here. If there are any questions. We've covered it all. I think, have we not by now covered pretty much everything? Athletic performance shooting. Is it Filster? It must be Filster. Floodlight is legit. It's a bit bigger than normal weapon light holster, but fits every gun with an X300. Interesting. Very interesting. And Joker's saying 92X or Langdon. I don't know. Everybody's talking about the 92X. Apparently, that's the way to go, man. I want to try the Langdon. I think the Langdon looks cool. I think it's a cool color combination. And again, everybody that's tested it that I've been following has had great things to say about it. All right, Ree, I will check out that rig as soon as I can. I'll jump on and take a look. Knuckles did pick up a Valor, paid $13.99 plus shipping. Okay, nice. Range Randy, Beretta had to do something because the APX is not moving. 92X might be a winner for them. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I think the APX is a good gun. It's not the best gun out there, but it's good. I mean, it's a solid gun. But you're exactly right. They don't sell, at least around here. They don't. I think they're going to have to be door prices at some point in time, which is unfortunate. I don't understand why that is. And every time I go in there, why have you guys not sold those APXs yet? And I don't know if it's they're not focusing on them very much and kind of putting them in front of people's faces a little bit more. Maybe they could, maybe they should, who knows? But they surprisingly just don't move much. And I haven't seen a 92X around, although I don't see many 92s around either. So I'll keep my eye out for them. Gunny Jones, catch you later. Semper Fi, back to you, brother. Okay, the Armsman. Filster is a legend in the world of Kydex. Nice. Stephen, what is the wall paint color called? I don't recall what this is called. I don't recall the name, but it's a Home Depot brand, whatever. Just kind of a burnt orange, if you will. The lights on the video don't make it look the same that it looks to me. It's much more burnt and much more subtle dark orange, if you will. Mean Gene, what did STI have to say about your review? Not a thing. Whether good or bad or indifferent, not a thing. So I don't know what that tells you. Most manufacturers don't watch those videos, or at least don't watch videos like mine. So I think the only one that actually came out and said something was Archon. Actually, they sent me an email. They said, "Good video. If you have any questions or anything, let us know." So that was pretty cool. I haven't talked to him since, but it was cool. Love that Archon, by the way. Good gun. Young Guns, how's the finish holding up on your X-Carry? Funny, I had a comment earlier talking about the M17, and they were wanting to know about the finish on the X Compact today. So the X-Carry looks better than the M17 did, but it's the same finish, and I think the same thing will probably happen to it. The X Compact looks flawless, so I think that's got a better finish. It's not quite that PVD finish on it, so I think it's a nitride, if I'm not mistaken. But it's only a matter of time with the X Carry, but I think that's going to stay around. So I'm not as worried about it quite as much. Buffer Zone 17. How come you show up on Tuesdays but not always on Wednesdays? Buffer Zone life, man. Life gets in the way. And Wednesday nights are tough. Middle of the week, a lot of things happen in the middle of the week for a lot of people. Subtle dark orange. Nice. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it. I like it. I think it's a cool color. It's something a little bit different, It's not taupe or gray or what most people have on their walls. It's something a little different. Crazy Ed, KS, fairly new fan, really liking the videos. Question, looking into a CZP-10S. Do you have anything on it? Yes, I have several videos out on it. Just a by itself video, and then I've got an if I can only have one video for it. So check those out. Let me know if you've got questions or anything. Just put a comment on the video, whatever, and we can start a conversation. But thank you very much and welcome. Keith Gregory, good to see you, man. D. Rob, really like my Beretta Centurion. Nice. You guys have talked me into it. I mean, I need to get on board with some of these here very soon. REB, OD Green, nice. Alaskan Ballistics, Texas Longhorn, and ironically, and I like the Longhorns, I guess, but that it was not really the theme. I just like the color. I like the color a lot. Hurt, good to see you, man. Athletic performance shooting, Joker the Langdon, 92 with the trigger job is worth every penny. Good to hear. And carries surprisingly well. Okay, man, you got me stoked, man. We might have to do a couple. I don't know. We might have to do the M9A3 and the Langdon or something like that. We'll see. Dexter, I know the backlog is growing fast again. It always is, dude. It always is. I mean, and now I'm trying to figure out what needs to go so I can keep it trucking. The Armsmen opinion: VP9 SK or CZP10S. A lot of people are going to hate me for saying this, but I'd go VP9 SK. That SK is awesome, and it feels just tremendous in the hand. I had one problem with the P10S, which was otherwise a fantastic gun. And if this wasn't the problem, I'd take the P10S over the VP9 SK. At the bottom of the grip, like this, it comes out a little bit more, but it's a shorter grip. And for whatever reason, it crushes my fingers together, and it's really uncomfortable for me. I just have the right size hand for it not to fit as well as some other people on there. So that was an issue. Now, the trigger safety, this is unloaded. The trigger safety, I had an issue with, but that's the same with all P10s. And that's about a 2-minute fix to take care of that. So I don't really care about that so much. But that grip angle, for whatever reason, it just moves my fingers the wrong direction. So it doesn't work for me. I mean, Gene, your wall is tactical coyote bronze. Yes, I like that. That is it. Stephen Worth, thanks, man. Really appreciate it. We're making a run. It's all because of you guys. Thank you. Thank you very much. Keenan, love the VP9 SK. Yeah, man, it's a good gun. Keith Gregory, where's Just Opinion? We have not worked out a time yet, but I am working hard to get him to be on the chat. I know you guys want to see him, and that would be a ton of fun. He is the nicest guy, and we talk a fair amount, but I'm trying to sweet talk him into it. He doesn't really do live streams, from what I understand, so we're just going to have to keep on beating him up until he does it. Hurt, which guns are going bye-bye to new homes? I'll tell you, I mean, that's fine. I used to hide that. I really don't anymore. The P10F, it's going to go. Sorry. I like the gun. It's a fantastic gun, but again, no practical application. And I couldn't find the right thing to do if I could only have ones. It didn't make sense. So the P10F goes, and there are enough videos out there. Big Johnson can lead the way with the P10F, and that's okay. And sadly, I think the Canik Elite Combat's going to have to go. And I love that gun. I really thought that was going to be a collection gun, but again, I don't really shoot it very much. And I've got all the polymer 80s that kind of fill that void a little bit. So I think that's going to go as well. And it's too bad, because if I want an example of a trigger out of the box that I think is truly paramount, that's the one. I think that trigger out of the box is crazy good. So I don't know. It's not gone. Neither of those two are gone yet, but they're kind of on the short list, at least at this point. So, well, guys, it's 8 o'clock, man. Time went fast tonight. You guys are amazing. It's truly amazing. Love all of you guys. Have a great rest of your week. We will be back again tomorrow night. Not here, though. I think it's on 17s or it's on Big Johnson. We'll figure it out. Look for the alert on that. But otherwise, you guys have a great rest of your week. Shoot straight, be safe, and I'll see you guys next week. Later.